Welcome to Creative Glory, the podcast, where we talk about faith, family, entrepreneurship, and honestly, a little bit of everything in between. From testimonies with guests to funny stories with our family to what not to do. Join us, Britt and Anthony, and our family on this journey called life as we keep Jesus first, grow with our family, and build our businesses.
Welcome back to a hashtag New Year, New Me. And Britt.
Hi.
This is Britt. I'm Anthony.
The Norses.
We survived our first, 4 months of doing this, and figure we start the new year.
Yeah.
With a bang. I have no idea what that was.
I need props.
No, you don't. We got buttons right here.
I think I'm going to bring props next time.
Nah, it's not that big of one. So, New Year, it's Faith's birthday today, but we talked about last time how we were going to speak more on path, walkthrough, walking, goals, what to do, what not to do. Yeah. So, you want to add anything before we get into the scripture of it, or?
I think you summarized it well. And again, Happy New Year. We like to start off every podcast just with scripture, get the word involved. We do pray beforehand, say, Lord, guide our words.
And if we say something stupid,
fix it.
Don't listen to it.
But Anthony's going to read from Psalm 16.
The Bible?
Yep.
Psalm 16.
He has a history Bible. It's really cool. It's called the American
Patriots
Bible.
Yeah. It gives American history lessons on scriptures that were either used whenever presidents were sworn in or other things. But Psalm 16:11 says, you will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. At the right hand are pleasures forevermore. And I mean, that kind of just sums up what we've kind of talked about as far as don't make so much of what's at the end, like the goal, so much that it's an idol. Yeah, it's really good, but often it's what's at the end. You don't even get to it, or you find out through the path that that's not even really what you wanted. And if you did get it, it still wouldn't lead to any type of fulfillment with it. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And sometimes it looks nothing
it will
like
never.
You thought it would.
No.
For instance, who are we listening to that was talking about, was it Preston Morrison?
Probably. I love them. And Tim Roth, because you were laughing the whole time.
Yeah, where he was talking about God. I did not want to do this, and the very thing that he said I'd never do is what God called him to do, or a part of an assignment he had to do. Yeah. And I think about how when I was younger, I never saw myself working with kids.
Yeah, I didn't want kids either. So.
If I did want them, I wanted them after 30 and maybe one or two. I don't know. I was okay if I didn't have any at the time. God completely changed that desire of me to have children, but also over the years and us having our own kids, the desire to work with kids grew, but at the same time, I didn't want to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is the very area. I just graduated from Supernatural School of Children's Ministry with Becky Fisher. It's amazing. I think every parent needs to listen to it, especially the days that we're living in. Teaching the kids the supernatural, teach them the word and the spirit and how to operate in their giftings and how to parent them in this generation and what we're going through with just everything that's against the Bible, really. And cultural norms is completely against the Bible. But anyways, I'm excited that I graduated from that. But now my first assignment coming up is to start working with kids in the prophetic. And as much as I guess I'm prepared as much as I can be, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I don't feel qualified whatsoever, you know? And I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing now. But also, it's one of the very things that brings me the most joy,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like Anthony.
What
Anthony
about
does
me?
it. You don't naturally want to be in the front,
No, never.
and you don't want to be seen
Nope.
necessarily, and you don't really like to talk that much, and
Nope.
God's called him to do a podcast. And I think it's hilarious because
My wife has called me to do a podcast.
no, the Lord put it on both of our hearts. I just got the revelation first.
Yeah. And I just said, okay.
That's usually how it starts. As much as God will actually, I pray and God will give me pictures and words and I'll see things, and it's so real to me, as if, if I get pictures of, I think I already talked about that, packing bags. I
Mm-hmm.
think, let's go pack right now. Let's move. And Anthony, on the other hand, he's like, whoa, let's use wisdom.
Yeah, let's
I
actually
don't
think
sense
about
that's
this.
the timing right now. And I'm like, but it feels so real, like it's right now. And so that
No.
kind of leads into the goals and what we're
Yeah.
going to talk about every new year. People, New Year's goals, and most people's New Year's goals, what is it, like 90% of people after the first week or two don't even keep going with their New Year's goals. They've already like put it on a shelf or forgot it, lost the paper, and aren't motivated.
Yeah. I mean, most people who have them goals anyways, it's a restriction of something. So they see it as I can't have it, which furthermore makes them want it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I couldn't do it for 6 days, so I'm done with it. And what we've learned was it takes 28 days to learn a new habit, but that's not really it.
It takes like 63 days to like.
It's 28 to remove the old habit, 28 more days to learn the habit. Or is it 24 and 24 and then 24?
It's like 3 times the amount to get it into. And then even after that, it's easy to revert back to old habits.
Who knows?
That's
why you don't, whenever you're making a goal or something and it's more of a restriction or something that you don't want to put it as I can't have it. When you have that mindset of can't have something, it makes you want it even more.
Yeah.
But we were talking the other night and you were like, what's our goals? What goals do we have? What goals are we gonna do? And that's usually how it is.
My brain's like wired that way.
With you.
Not really every year. That's literally every week.
Yeah, I mean it's speaking of goals and then the deadlines with the goals, and
it's because we were trained to do that, like for years past with certain people in our lives. Like, if you don't have a goal with a deadline, then it's just wishful thinking, right? What was the other phrase? I mean, and those are good principles to abide by, right? But if you're someone like me who goes to extremes with goal setting, and I'm so focused on getting it within that timeline, and when I don't, I just completely go down the spiral and feel like I'm never going to accomplish it.
Yeah, or you feel like that it's past.
Yeah, I feel like I ran out of time.
Like,
oh, the clock's up. I ran out of time.
I made a mistake. I can't have this goal again, so let me change it. Type thing, and it's not really how it is. I've learned that I love the process and the path, only because you lean 100% whenever you try to do things within your own power. That's usually whenever you have the setbacks. I mean, the easiest thing that we can think of is whenever we decided to move here.
Yeah.
When we were originally going to move here, we gave ourselves 6 months so that we could save up enough. We could have everything would be perfect.
You did.
Yeah. Well, no.
I wanted to go right then. I'm like, get in the van. God will give us money on the road on the way. I've heard too many Kenneth Copeland testimonies and Jerry Savelle.
But I was like, we'll give ourselves 6 months. We'll have savings. We'll have everything that way. If we need anything, it's there. Like, we don't have to worry about it and then finding a job and a place.
And what, after 6 weeks later, I got in a car wreck.
Yeah. After 6 months, we had no savings. The car was almost totaled.
We were in more debt.
Yeah, it was
worse.
Yeah, and then I got 2 tickets, like, out of nowhere for things that I didn't even...
Like $300 tickets.
It was ridiculous. But then we had a conversation. We're like, all right, well, you said, you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't stay here anymore. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, I want to move. I got, I got that third voice of confirmation, and I was like, all right, let's do it. We had 6 weeks. We had 6 weeks. We went from being
packing.
6 months of us doing it on our own to we have 6 weeks. We have from Thanksgiving until January 1st.
And nothing was lined up.
No.
No job.
No place.
No place to
there was
live.
Absolutely nothing going on at all that we could be like, yeah.
Nothing packed. Nothing packed in the house.
Yeah, no. God's hand the whole way with it.
And our lease wasn't even up. What were we going to do about that? That was running through our minds. Like, our lease isn't up for like 6 months.
Yeah. Well, we just bit the bullet and we just trusted, and we followed what we could, and things literally every week, the checklist that we had, it was constantly being taken off, and it's just like, that's God's hand moving all the way throughout. And then we get here, and I literally didn't get a paycheck until February. So the whole month of January, like, I didn't even get a paycheck. But I mean, that shows that when you know that you're following the right steps, like you're gonna have hiccups and everything else along the way, but the way that it was just so easy to move.
Easy in the spirit too. My flesh was a little stressed.
Very stressed.
It was an everyday, like, Lord Jesus, we trust in you.
Don't let nothing fall
you
through.
That you supply all of our needs according to your riches and glory in Christ Jesus. I remember the Lord, when I was praying, I was like, Lord, he ain't got a job. Anthony told me, you get me a job, you pack, we'll move. You line everything up. I was just determined enough that, okay, God told me when I was researching the jobs in Raleigh, I was researching which ones. The Lord said, call this number.
Well, I already sent a resume. I sent a resume to 2 places here in Raleigh.
Yeah.
And that was the first one. And to be honest, the reason why I did it was, remember, we saw that they had a up to $5,000 relocation like bonus.
And he never got that.
And I was like, all right. Well, I asked him about it afterwards, like while we're going through the process, like, hey man, there's a relocation. Like, I'm moving from 1,000 miles away. Is that considered relocation? They're like, that's for up north. That's not for the Raleigh area. And I was like, dang, maybe I should have went a little bit more north.
Should have moved to Virginia.
No, absolutely not. I've lived there before. I do not want to do that again.
But no, you're right. Just that everything lined up, even it circumstantially, it still didn't look like it was going to happen. Even until the 2 days before, we didn't have the money. And it just so happened that the Lord blessed us through someone to give us a loan, and then God paid him back in a few months. God gave us money to pay him back.
Yeah.
And otherwise we wouldn't have had, we had $200 to our name. We had enough to get there, enough to pay the U-Haul, to rent and get there.
Yep.
That was it.
That was, yeah.
And we gave away a lot of things. We took just a very tiny U-Haul because we were moving 16 hours away.
Yeah, it's 1,000 miles. So it was longer than that because, I mean, we had 2 vehicles, but it was a
and every time you were tired, I had energy. Every time I was tired, he had energy. We just were not matching up on that trip, and we were in 2 different vehicles because I had the van with 3 of the kids. He had Izzy.
I had Izzy,
and the U-Haul, and we stopped. I'm pretty sure every 2 hours to take a power nap.
To take like an hour nap, and then you drive. It took us 24 hours.
We left the 29th of December 2019.
The 30th.
No, we got there the 30th.
Did we? I don't know. I know it was 24 hours, but we also made an extra trip so that we could drop off to your sister that washer and dryer.
Oh, that's true. We added like 4 hours.
It's like 2.5, just because we veered off.
Oh yeah,
from to going Asheville. Straight up to veering off to Asheville, and then
I forgot back. we dropped all that washer and dryer.
Yep.
But God showed up.
He did.
And I'm ready for another move.
God.
Hint, hint. I now know, though.
If it happens, it happens.
I now know, though, to trust. I think the timing of things, as far as, again, I've been sensing we need to move for the past year. Now, it could be a different state. It could be an hour or 2 away. I already have that sense because it's the same feeling I got a year before we moved to North Carolina. But again, it took a year and a half before that came to pass when God first spoke to me about it. And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things, the way God's wired us is so different because I do see things and sometimes they're in the distant future. But to me, they're so real to me. And you're just like, that is not the timing right now. I don't think so. But we were talking to some of our spiritual leaders and he said how he needs sometimes lots of confirmation. And Anthony, I think you're that way too. You're like,
He
God,
did.
I need like this fleece. I need this fleece. I need this confirmation. I need this one. I need you to double, triple confirm it to me before I do anything. Yeah. And I'm over here, let's jump off the cliff. And God is going to make something under us as we go, as we jump.
Which is the same as his wife.
I think that's saying. Why we work well together. And also how I'm thinking about just in marriage in general, it's so crucifying your flesh in a way because you do have to learn all the fruits of the spirit. You grow in patience. You grow in, preferring the other person to yourself. And also God's mercy and his grace is greater than even if we mess up, we mess the timing up. I feel like in this season, that's one of the things the past couple nights when I've been praying, God's been telling me I'm going to redeem time. I'm going to redeem time in your marriage. I'm going to redeem time in your family. The time that, you worked a lot when the kids were younger. So you missed out on a lot of that. And I feel like this year for our family, the word I get is adventure. It's a season of resting and spending quality time together, but also going on adventures and really focusing on the family because that's our foundation.
Yeah. That's the reason why we do what we do. I mean, do you want to go more onto the...
You can go back to the goal thing. I kind of went on a long trabbit hell.
Trabbit hell. Trabbit hell.
Rabbit trail.
Nope, not anymore. We are not going to call it a trabbit hell. I mean, a rabbit trail. It is a trabbit hell from now on. Izzy's going to make fun of you.
No.
Yeah, she is. I'm not cutting that out. There's no way. That's gold. Trabbit hell. There's a bunch of loops in this trabbit hell over here, but don't worry, baby. We're going to get back to the start. I'm just calling it what it is.
This is our daily life.
Yep.
I'm usually giggling and laughing. I'm either really serious or I'm like super giggly. There's not really much of it in between.
No, there's not. But now that we're off here, trabbit hell, we can get back to the true path,
Take it away.
Yeah, and yeah. So whenever you have your goals and you're going down the path, you may or may not find a trabbit and you chase it around.
Take it to hell.
Don't follow that trabbit because it'll lead you to hell. Stay on the path. No,
don't look at me. I can't look at you right now. Just keep talking.
No, but so you want to just make sure that you're going in the right direction. Yeah, the goal is good to have, but timelines are also good to have. It just depends on how you see the timeline or how you see the goal. Mm-hmm. And the more that you focus and the more that you want that goal to be here now, I guarantee you that you don't really want that goal because it takes so much more than what you're actually willing to put in for it. I mean, most people don't have a short-term goal, or if they have a short-term goal, it is so short-term that they can achieve it like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And their long-term goals, they want to achieve tomorrow. And so you start looking for shortcuts because you see that, your deadline's coming up. And then when you start doing shortcuts and you start falling away from actually following his presence and following him, the more that you make it more of an idol.
Yeah.
You forget. And that's whenever you lose yourself, then you lose your progress. And sometimes it may seem like you're taking one step back or slowing down, but you're actually, like John Maxwell says, you slow down to speed up, you know?
Well, you know what I realized this week when I was thinking about goal setting and everything? Who am I trying to impress?
Me.
Who? Oh, no, not really. But like, why do I feel like it has to be in a deadline or I'm a failure? Why do I feel like I have to do it by this time? And if I don't meet that, the thing is, if you continually set goals that you don't meet, you're letting yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be your expectation every time you set a goal in the back of your mind. You're going to be like, that doubt is going to come back in. Well, I didn't meet the goal last time. I didn't really do it last time. Like self sabotage. I will say that's one of the things I struggled with the past 10 years was self sabotage. Either I was really consistent and doing really good for a long time, and things grew so fast, it's almost as if, what's it called? Something syndrome, where you don't feel like you deserve it. Imposter. Imposter. Imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're just all these words today. Where you feel like you can't meet that level of responsibility. I think that's for me. The weight of the responsibility would get to me every time. Example, last year when our business grew so fast with the gift boxes,
You got overwhelmed.
I did. I got overwhelmed. And two, when I pray over these boxes, it takes a lot of time and I'm so thankful for it, but I don't want to give anything less than
the desired amount to actually make it.
Yes. And I want to make sure I give the time to intercede and pray that I'm hearing the Lord correctly. And last year, when so many orders came in, I was grateful, but it was kind of a test, I feel like, because they tapered off right after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that. I kind of crashed for a month. I had lost like 15 pounds in the month of December last year because I didn't eat. I was literally tending to kids, and then I would be in the prayer closet. I'd be praying, I'd be creating boxes and stressing out because I was still new. It was just an idea God gave me. I still didn't know what I was doing. And I'm like, is this even blessing people? Am I even hearing from the Lord right? I mean, that was a lot, but I realized that showed me, okay, again, timing. I got that burst of what it was going to be like. And then it tapered off. And I think God allowed me to have a little bit of time there's a reason why things don't happen when we want them to happen, because sometimes we're not prepared to handle it. Sometimes we don't have the capacity yet to handle the responsibility that comes with that success.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you grow and you're successful, I don't know what's going on. I'm tongue tied. If you grow and become successful before your character is developed,
Mm-hmm.
it will crush you and other people around you and your family. If we don't have our family as a foundation, serving the Lord, putting Him first in every area of our life, how can we build anything from that? How can we build a business from that and let it be successful without it overtaking us or going to our heads and us getting prideful about it? So I think when I felt like the last 10 years, I'm like, Lord, there's so many things that I believe that, God's called us to be wealthy, but not just for us, to be a blessing to other people. Well, it hasn't come to pass like I thought. And at times I'm like, what is happening? I've been consistent in areas like in business and stuff. And I really think though, I just wasn't ready yet because I didn't have the peace that we needed for unity in our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
If we would have gone and been successful years ago without this foundation, we couldn't have handled it.
It would have destroyed us
Completely. I don't think we'd be together.
I don't know about that.
Okay, maybe we wouldn't be nice to each other. No, I just
No,
don't.
I think we would have I think we would have fallen, but we would have fallen out of.
We would have went different paths. Like I would have been so focused on business, and I would have wanted to keep up the rat race.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have slowed down long enough to rebuild family.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds awful, but that's just my priorities were in the wrong place.
Yeah, I mean, your house would have been built on sand.
Yeah.
So it would
So
have
I'm
came
grateful.
crashing down, but at that point also you have to keep up. You have to stay where you're at and constantly push forward. If you were to step back, you fall out of the eye, and then people question, and then people talk, and then everything else that happens, regardless if it's good for you or not. And that's the problem that we live in now, is when people see you being successful, nobody nobody has the grace to allow people to fail or
Yeah.
fall, and then allow them to actually change their foundation or fix the problem that, a, a result of what they had.
Yeah.
I think this season that we have coming up, it's about adventure, and it's about, God letting us decide what we do, but I think it's
Mm-hmm.
more or less what we say no to.
Absolutely. I think we're going to
It's
have more opportunities than we've ever
the
had.
opportunities that we do have and what we will have. I think now is the time where it's going to be the no's
Mm-hmm.
more so than the yeses, because before it was all the yeses. Let's go do that. Let's go do this. They're having a conference here. Let's do this.
Well, I was a major people pleaser. I didn't want to disappoint people. I wanted them to see that I was everything. I was willing to serve. I was willing to give. But if you can't give that to your family, what's the point of doing it for other people? Who are you going to have at the end of your life?
Other people.
Stop. Other people are fleeting. They come and go in different seasons. And I think my worth was put in what I did for people. Was put in, good job, Britt. Like, you're the first at everything. You're the last at everything. And you're such a good server. And thank you for taking care of us. But I got run over a lot. People took advantage of me.
I warned you.
I know. And I just kept on trucking along. I'm like, no.
They're not doing that. Why would they do that?
It took the Lord, though, and that's what I'm learning too, even in marriage and relationships. There are some things that we can't help our spouse through. Only God can. You can tell me a million times. You've done it so many times. You can tell me a million times, Britt, you need to be doing this. I don't want to hear it from Anthony.
Mm-mm.
But when God says it, but sometimes it's interesting how God was saying it, but he was saying it through Anthony. And that's the one person in the past that I didn't want to receive from, because Anthony, the way he delivers things, you've gotten so much better. I'm just so proud of you. The way he used to deliver things, because I was so through the lens of rejection, I was way too sensitive, and I still am working on that to a degree. But I would take things because I had a wound of rejection. Anthony would say things a certain way that came across to me very blunt, and it would hurt me, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. And I found that because I tend to, again, I've gotten better, but sugarcoat things. I need someone in my life that actually speaks straight into me what I need to hear, not just sugarcoats it. I think everybody needs those people in their life, because you're never going to get anywhere if people coddle you. And Anthony's taught me that through parenting. I just want to, when the kids, I am getting better at discipline, but I tend to be like, oh no, I just grace. But no, love in its purest form is discipline, rabbit trail. Let's go back to the main idea.
Man, you said that slow.
I sure did. But what about you? Like,
what about me?
I have learned from you to enjoy the journey. I'm getting better at that. I think this year the Lord's been talking to me about, can you be present? Can you be present in the day and not constantly? I'm such a dreamer that I find joy in dreaming, but I can't keep my head in the dreaming clouds and not be present with you or with the kids or with what God is doing right now, because I can miss what he's doing. I can miss opportunities if I'm not present, because my mind's always out in the future, right? I think you're really good at keeping me grounded in that. And a lot of times he's like, just stop worrying about everything.
Yeah, because you literally worry about everything, things that haven't happened, things that you don't even know is going to happen or not.
I plan for it all, huh?
Yeah, but
and then it never goes to plan.
No.
Ever.
It never has.
That's when you're doing it in your own power, because none of it ever goes to plan. God laughs at our plans.
Yeah, because it's not going to happen. If he were to give it to you, then you were definitely going to stumble and fall. Then at the end of it, you're like, I forgot what it even took to get here. That was simple. That was easy. And then you're like, I don't even like this. This isn't really what I wanted. It's kind of like nachos. You know, you make 3 pounds of nachos one night, and then
Anthony wanted nachos. What, last week?
I wanted nachos.
We went to the store and got nachos to me is like the game day nachos, right?
No,
with the round little tortilla chips and the nacho cheese. Anthony's version of nachos, which I go tacos with chips, is
I really, Shannon, literally taco I know meat, you're gonna watch and listen to this, and I really want you to judge her.
Chips and salsa, chips. And I call it taco chips or taco with tortillas. The kids get a choice. But Anthony wanted taco chips, and so we went to the store.
It's nachos. Just wanted nachos. Okay, that's what I wanted. He wanted
taco chip nachos, and we went to the store and we got all the stuff. We made it, and he goes, "Meh."
Well, because I asked you, I was like, we got 3.2 pounds.
We made the whole thing
and
with taco meat.
What do you want? Like, do you want to just save half of this or just make half? And you said, send it all. So I made all of it.
We have 4 kids.
Yeah. And then they made theirs. I made mine. And
They're taco chips.
Whenever I made mine, I had a bite and I was just like, this is not what I wanted. I probably could have just gotten a Twinkie or something. Would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want it.
I'm like, we didn't even have to go to the store.
We didn't. We didn't have to,
or waste 30 minutes cooking.
Yeah. Sometimes you learn. You see, I wanted it, but it was impulse, and I didn't really want it.
And then when we got home, I told him no to like a treat at the store because I'm like, we really don't need that.
Should have gotten it.
And he got home and he ate a bite of the nachos and realized I wanted the sweets.
I did. I 100%.
And we didn't have that. Twinkie. He wanted to go back to the store and get them. I'm like, I ain't going back to get that. I
didn't feel like driving. But yeah, so it's sometimes what you want isn't really what you want.
Sometimes you don't know that though until you get what you think you want, and then you're like, this is not fulfilling.
Let me give you a taste of this. Oh, maybe I gotta taste that because I don't want that. Can I go back to the store?
And what I've learned too, even with goals and stuff, just in dreaming, sometimes I lost my train of thought because I was trying to read your cup.
That my cup literally just says my name.
No, this one right here. I don't know what I was saying. It just went away.
What cup?
And go. That one right there.
Helimix?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I saw hell.
The Helimix cup.
What is the deal?
Found after I lost it for a week.
Yeah.
But no, so back to whatever you wanted to learn.
I don't remember what I wanted to learn. It just went away.
So a lot of times what it is whenever you say, well, what goal do you have? What goal do you want? What do you want to do?
I get hyper-focused.
You do, but once you set that goal and have that goal, that is why I don't really chime in on certain things, is because I know once you get that goal or once you get what you want, as far as an idea of it, I just want to enjoy the path with it, the process going through it, the walk through that we have. Because I do know that every time, it 100% in the past, it's an argument, it's a fight. Absolutely. Because it goes like this. What's your goals? What's your goals for the year? What do you want to see for our family?
What's your dreams for our family and our life? And
yeah, that's how it is.
Anthony's like, whatever you want.
Yeah, so
just make you happy.
It's not just to make. I don't say that.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
What, ditto.
Ditto. Whatever you just said.
And I'm like, oh, that's frustrating to me because, again,
it can be.
I'm wired to think dream big. That's why it's frustrating because you're not wired that way whatsoever. You don't care. You're thankful for what comes.
I am. I'm thankful for, because whatever you have set in your mind, I do know that if it has a strong enough draw on you, you're going to be dead set on it. Yeah. And those typically are the ones that I will 100% back up and get behind. Not saying that I'm not I
Kind of
don't
like the
back up like
podcast.
all of them. Exactly. So what I'll do is I can get behind it. Let me see what I need to do. This, and this. I gotta learn how to do this. I have to learn how to do this. I have to buy this. We have to get this.
I researched too.
Now it's not getting okay, but it's not getting everything perfect before we do it. It's let's put ourselves out there first and then learn also more along the way.
Yeah, I tend to want all my ducks in a row before I launch something.
Yeah, but it's either
sometimes I'm kind of either or. It just depends on what it is. God could tell me to move right now and unpack and go. But on certain things, I guess when it's me putting myself out there in front of people, that's where I'm like, I gotta fix my hair. I gotta look proper. I don't need to wear this raggedy t-shirt or.
You're lucky I got pants on.
Like, hey, one of the podcasts he did.
There's a couple of them where it's questionable. It's really questionable whether I have anything on under that shirt or.
He has pants on today.
I do have pants on.
And his little sunshine shirt that he got right before we went to California last year.
That's right. But no, it's so you'll get the goal, the dream, the idea, and I will enjoy the path with it because I do know that it brings us closer. We have a common goal.
You're very
something
supportive.
that I can stand behind. I ain't heard that before.
Oh, babe, you are so supportive. I am so proud of you. I was thinking when we first got, well, just as a side thought,
Trabbit Hill. Yeah, Trabbit Hill.
When we first got on the podcast, I was just thinking, I love him.
Aw.
You're doing so well with the podcast. I think this is your lane.
No.
And I will slowly scoot on out and work on other things because I have a lot of more ideas.
No. Let's stick to this.
I help launch you together. And I go, whoop-a-bye.
We went whoop-a-bye in the Trabbit Trail. No, but it's just something that I feel like we get closer while doing.
Yeah.
But I do know that it still aggravates you if I don't tell you dreams, goals, or anything of that nature because I do.
Because I feel like I'm in it alone and that's all me. It's just a feeling. I didn't say it was the truth. I'll separate the two. But I feel like we're in therapy right now.
Technically, this kind of is our therapy.
True. I do feel like I'm alone in it. But what God showed me, it's amazing how, again, you have one counseling session. It can completely remove the scales from your eyes. What the Lord showed me is we're made different for a reason. I am a visionary. I am going to come up with crazy ideas and dreams, and most of them are God ideas. Not all of them. I'm starting to kind of see the difference. Mine are very impulsive. God's like, let's take our time. But Anthony is very grounded. He's very good at research. I research, but Anthony's good at researching and doing. I research just to learn, and Anthony actually goes and puts it into practice.
You forget the minute you look it up.
I do. I can read something 100 times and it's like, whew, where'd it go?
Yeah. Hey, how do you hook up my guitar to this? I don't know. Let me look it up. And then you're over there just
But once you show me, everything I know how to do it. I'm a type, you got to show me. Let's do it together. And then I got it. That's how I learned guitar. Mr. Bruce taught me.
Yeah.
But no, Anthony's, you're very grounded. And you're the practical. I'm more like head in the clouds all the time. You need both. You're solid, you're steady, and I am naturally impulsive.
Whimsical.
Woo.
Yeah.
It works. And when we appreciate each other's strengths and acknowledge the weaknesses and realize we do fill in each area where we're weak in and we're growing together.
Where am I weak?
We just talked about you don't like to open up and talk to me about your goals and dreams. You just say ditto.
Ditto.
But when just that goes along with the dreams and goals, expectations. When you have unrealistic expectations of what you can accomplish in a certain time frame, you're going to be disappointed every time. And when you continually do that, you're chipping away at your beliefs, what you believe about yourself, what you believe is possible. You can have head knowledge that everything's possible with God. You can know that scripture. With man, it's impossible, but nothing's impossible with God. That's where I was for a long time. And I do believe in the impossible. However, we live on the earth. We do, where am I going with this, Lord? Holy Spirit, help. But I think that the Lord's had to show me my expectations were in the wrong place. Why? And God is all about heart motives. You can have the right goal, the right timing, the wrong heart motive, and it's still not come to pass.
It's all heart.
It's about your heart. It's about your character. It's about, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are we doing the podcast? The Lord checked our hearts before we even started the podcast.
I don't want to.
And then it's constantly a heart check. Actually, that's how a lot of times it's the Lord, when you don't want to, but that doesn't go away. I need to do this. I need to start a podcast. We really, I feel like that's the Lord constantly pushing you out of your comfort zone, because that's where the most growth happens anyways. But it's all about your heart. I think that in this season, God is looking at people's hearts, and your hearts are going to really reveal who you truly are. I think that's what's happening in this season for a lot of people. I think things are going to happen that are going to help people prioritize things in the right place. He comes first. Family comes next. And then it's business or ministry,
Also, I think with expectations, especially like failed expectations.
Yeah.
And even ones that you wholeheartedly know that it's an unreal expectation, that always leaves the door open for the enemy.
Yeah.
For a seed of doubt to be planted. And with doubt comes, internal turmoil, whatever, with everything that's going on. And that's all that it takes, is just for a little bit of doubt to creep into your mind, to now cause, a little bit of callousness over the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually it completely hardens it. And you may not want to believe it, you may not want to think it, but it's because of an expectation that you're not willing to let go, even though you know that is not going to happen. But that little bitty seed of doubt that's planted just from a crack in the door, that's allowing it.
And two, what about the times? This is one of the things that I was talking to a friend recently. The times that that you heard from the Lord about something that He promised you, and it still didn't come to pass. And things didn't happen the way that you believe He told you they would. You have to let that go. The Lord's told me, you have to lay it down at my feet. Some things have to die. Yeah. So new things can be, come from that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes God redirects you as well, because I think sometimes we don't understand the importance of us being obedient to the Lord and doing what He's asking us to do, because we can affect other people's journey. We can affect other people's dreams. If we don't do what God's asking us to do, I believe there's a lot of businesses and people, because we want to invest in Christian businesses and launch them. That's like a longer term vision. We're in the process of growing and learning right now to be prepared for that. But if we don't stay in the process and grow, we won't be ready for that. And therefore, that will hinder those people. God can raise up new people, but it can hinder people's timelines. So as well, when things don't come to pass in the timeline that we believe God told us would, I think sometimes other people had a play in it. What if God told them to bless us or sow into us financially and they didn't? And God told us we would have something by a certain time. We have to not let those situations, like you said, cause doubt that we heard from God, or harden our hearts to be like, well, it didn't come through this time, so it might not next time. Because over time, when things like that happen, it's like you're building up these wounds in your heart, or you're building up the walls and calluses, and it's like you can't move on until you let go of the past.
Yeah, but then you also, with it, you're still finding doubt and trusting
Yeah.
God.
I was there for a while the past couple of, not this
Yeah.
year, but really a couple years prior.
Well, whenever you're doubting, you're cursing.
Hmm.
So I think Tim Ross said it best is whenever when the enemy tells you something
Mm-hmm.
for you to believe that is a lie, and then you start believing the lie, and then he turns around and he tells God, they're cursing you.
Mm.
It, it's what the accuser told me. I believed that was a lie, and now he uses that word against me.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he can't lie to God.
Yeah.
He can lie to us. He can't lie to God. So then he uses that lie for you to believe, and then for you to curse. And then now he accuses you of lying. So, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not mean.
Not me.
Not me. You don't love God. But what's wrong with you? We need a 4-hour church service for that one.
I'm not going there.
But yeah.
I got all my drinks.
Yeah, so it's it's what the accuser accuses me of.
The water's for hydration.
That's a rabbit hell of
The blue
drinks.
The blue is for energy. And the throat coat tea is because my throat's sore and I have to record a song.
If you mix all
hours.
of them, you can literally just mix them all together.
That's warm. This is ice cold and this is room temperature. It's like the porridge.
So why didn't you go from cold to lukewarm to hot?
No, I went from lukewarm to cold to hot.
Exactly.
Because I need rehydration. Rehydration. Is that a word? Rehydration.
Rehydration.
And then I needed energy. Oh man, all of our podcasts are like all these rabbit trails because of me.
Yeah.
We can kind of wrap it up though.
Yeah, we can. It's like 45
We've
minutes.
kind of been repeating the same thing a little bit for the last 15 minutes. Yeah. But different perspective on different things.
It is just different ways of saying.
Yeah.
But
that, I think this year, unless the Lord tells me to set a goal, He hasn't told me that. All I know for this year is to rest. The Lord told me that I will get more done in resting in Him. I will get more revelation in resting and spending time with Him than I would if I did any of it on my own. So to prioritize rest. And that comes with, physical resting and exercising. Take care of my body. Nice. And that comes with soul rest. Being able to, what gives my soul rest is dreaming big, but also community. God's really highlighted community with me, building relationship with people, but also spirit. How do you rest with, how does your spirit get rest? Spend time with the Lord. And from that place of rest, I believe we're going to get more accomplished this year than we ever have in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's resting in God is trusting in Him. It's not worrying. It's not being anxious. It's not worrying about tomorrow because what if tomorrow never comes? The scripture talks about. But also it's the year of adventure. It's the year that I naturally, my inclination is to feel like, God, I don't want to miss you. I don't want to miss out on what you're telling me to do. What if I disobey? I don't want to be disobedient. God isn't constantly putting a thumb on you, putting pressure on you. You better obey me. You better obey me. Yes, He wants obedience, but He wants freedom. We obey Him because we love Him, right? And a way to show God we love Him is loving our families well. It's investing in our families and spending quality time together. That's loving God well too. So I'm excited about this year.
Yeah. I think this year, as far as us, is like we said, it's adventure, but at the same time, we're going to have the opportunities that we have that are going to come before us. I think more so this year than anything, it's not what we say yes to, but what we say no to.
Yeah.
And by us saying no, it's not taking a step in the wrong direction.
Mm-mm.
Because no
We're not
matter
missing out.
what, whatever we say, whether it is yes or no, it is still going to propel us forward. It's just more so what we say no to this year
Well, less is more.
than what we say actually yes to.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you always ask me, what is God speaking to you lately? What has God told you lately?
Every day, because I feel like God's been telling me something every day. So
Yeah. Well, so the season that I'm in now, I feel like the last thing that he told me, whether it was months ago, weeks ago, or days ago, is to further along what I'm doing. I'm on the right path,
yeah,
but it's not hopping forward or doing anything else. And a lot of the times I will sit there and be like, I want you to tell me what to do, where to go, what what should I do?
mm-hmm.
And there's silence, but it's silence because I'm still doing the last thing that he told me to, and I have not progressed to the point to where there is something else
That's
or
good.
there's not another assignment.
Yeah,
I'm still doing the same assignment, and that's what I need to be doing.
yeah.
So it's either I can't handle, the next part. There's steps to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good where I'm at right now. I don't need anything else. I don't need to progress any further, like by him saying, do this, do this, do this, do this. Where I'm at, he's quiet right now. And I don't mind it at all.
Anthony likes quiet.
Well, I do. I do, but also I don't force a point to where I can't hear you. I'm doing something wrong. You know, it's literally I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now, and I have not moved the needle far enough forward to where my next assignment is here yet. So,
But what if you're progressing more than you think you are? Because I think right now you're growing in your roots. Like your
and
roots
that's
are
what
going
I'm
deep as opposed to.
taproot. Yeah. So that's where I'm at now, and well, what I'm saying as far as like growing for the next assignment or whatever
Oh,
is
yeah.
whatever he's speaking next to me.
Yeah. Whereas I'm always like, I got a new business idea.
Yeah.
I got like 10 new business ideas, Anthony. We can do this, 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 this. And
Yeah, I'm not praying for something new for him to do
yeah.
because I know that where I'm at is where I need to be,
Yeah.
and I'm not yet
You're being faithful in the
along.
season that you're in.
Yeah, so I
And we
don't
don't know how long the
I
season's going to
don't need
be.
something new like every hour.
I
Which is why you asked me every hour. I'm just like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything because I'm where I'm at. It's where I'm
Mhm.
supposed to be. And so that's where I am happy right
Mhm.
now. I'm good with where I'm at. And when the next assignment comes, the next word is spoken, whatever it is, then I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of the people, and you hear it all the time. It's just like, I haven't heard from God. I don't hear from God. I haven't heard anything. What's the last thing he told you? This. Okay. Did you do it? Well, no. Why not? I didn't want to. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. You're not going to hear the next part until you accomplish what he told you to do. You're not going to get a new assignment just by default because you're like, I tried it for a week. I didn't like it.
You can't skip a step. It's all a part of the training process. You know, every season that we're in, I believe develops another part of our character.
Mm-hmm.
And we take lessons and tools. I feel like God gives us tools in the season to be able to even be victorious in the next season. If we're not faithful in the season that we're in, we're not going to be prepared for the next season. So we're going to repeat the season like the Israelites were on the mountain. If you do not pass this test, you're going to take it again. And I found myself probably a couple months ago, or when we were in this lull of like 6 weeks of not on a podcast. I was like, Lord, I ain't taking this test again. It's like, I don't care what I gotta do or how much heart pain. I think I cried more the last 6 weeks than all year. I was like, I don't care how much, but it was almost heart surgery. It wasn't really anything external. God was doing things internally in my life. But it was funny. I was like, I want to pass this test, Lord. Give me the answers. I want to pass the test. I don't want to repeat it again. So,
I need a
however
cheat code.
long I need to deal with this heart pain, let it be while I cry and heal me so I can be prepared to get out. I want to get out of this test. But I'm like that. I'm like, let's take the test and move on. And you're like, let's enjoy the process.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that crap.
Let's just walk and stroll. And I'm like, let's sprint. How quick can we get through this?
That's fine.
And I think it's a good thing that, it's a mix of both. But Anthony has taught me patience, where that fruit of the spirit didn't come natural. And I think that I've taught you a little, well, maybe, I don't know, a little bit of like, let's go. Let's just step out in faith and just let's leap right now. Okay, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't teach him nothing. Nothing. I think we're a good mix though. But I'm excited for the year. I'm excited because this year I want to have some guests on who have been through different walks of life and can tell their testimonies and overcoming stories. I think the scripture says in Revelations 12, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. I really do believe every day this year we need to be taking communion and pleading the blood of Jesus over us, but also hearing people's testimonies encourages us. And I feel like it's like an extra dose we need sometimes when we're super down and we can't see a way out of a situation. Seeing that someone else has maybe had it tougher than we have and it still overcome gives us hope. Yeah.
Yep. Well, we were going to do a short, 20, 30-minute one.
Obviously, we were? I was not aware of that. Did you say that at the beginning?
No, it's just you said that from now on you said 30 minutes.
Well, all these podcasts I listen to are like 30 minutes long. Anthony's like, I listen to these like 4-hour long podcasts, and 100%. My attention span can't stick to that. So I listen to the short little bites so I can apply it. And I hear cool stories, and I'm usually listening to it while I'm doing dishes or something or driving on the road.
So that lets you know how long she does dishes or house cleaning for.
Ooh, real funny.
I just joking.
Anthony's doing the dishes.
Trabbit hell. No... But no, so
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy birthday, Audrey. And
Audrey Faith.
And so
I call her Faith.
This year it will be great. It'll be fun. It'll be adventurous. We
want to do some vlogs. I keep telling Anthony I want to do some family vlogs. Not like I don't really want the pressure that comes with doing that all the time. But when we do go on trips, I want to start vlogging. I love to video. Our kids love that kind of stuff.
You can vlog.
You may never see Izzy.
Vlog. I don't care. It's fine.
But Izzy does exist.
She does exist. She does not want to be anywhere.
That is our daughter. She's about to be 13.
She is. She's our baby.
Next month. Yeah.
But no, this new year, there's going to be new opportunities, and so I personally look forward to it. I look forward for the growth that we're going to have, not only personally, not only relationally, family, but business as well as, with our faith.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the year that we're going to have milestones. And so
my phone's about to die.
I'm not worried about your phone. But yeah, so hashtag new year, new me.
And what was
like
it?
Every year.
Hashtag rabbit.
Oh, Trabbit hell. God. Anyways, guys, she's
Happy
been up
New
for
Year.
too long.
I did not get any sleep last night.
Happy New Year. We are going to be consistent. Doesn't matter what it takes.
Even if we have to come on here
Every
in our
week.
Pajamas and say hello.
I'll do that anyways.
And I do encourage everyone, maybe if you're more like me, maybe just allowing the Lord to let go of the timelines for a season and see what God does. And if you're like Anthony, set a goal with a deadline.
You do that all you want, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I hit the deadline, great. If I don't hit the deadline, I can look back at the point of the deadline and be like, you know what, man, I've made a lot of progress.
Be like Anthony. Everyone should be more hashtag be like Anthony.
Amazing.
And then hashtag
very humble too. I am very humble. It's really hard to be this humble, but I'm amazing. This is my wife, Britt. So
okay. Goodbye from Amazing and Brett, and we will see you on the next podcast.